Welcome to Out of Order. I'm Marcus. We're going to be tearing into Altered Beast right there. It does work fine, but that one is the only arcade here that has a Pandora's box. So I'm swapping it out. But I bought a board from a friend of mine and it doesn't have sound. So I'm going to show you guys this because there's two caps that have popped and I'm going to replace them. And hopefully these are the sound caps. I actually don't know, but they're bad either way. I think the game just plays, it just doesn't have sound. So the goal is to fix this and then put it into the cabinet. And hopefully it just works. So I'm gonna show you right now what those two caps are. So here they are. You can see that they've completely just blown apart, which is nuts. So I'm gonna swap those with these brand new ones and see how it does. I also just cleaned up the JAMA connector. You can see it's all shiny. I used a fiberglass eraser, so everything else looks okay. There are some tracer repairs on here, so I don't know. I hope they're okay. Anyway, let's go ahead and do this and see how it goes. All right, they're in, but I'm gonna send this over to Jesse so he can laugh at me. Pretty funny. All right, so I replaced those two capacitors and that's great. I went ahead and installed it into the machine. So on these Sega, I believe they're Sega 16 boards, which is pretty cool. You do need a specific adapter down here, which takes it from JAMA to the specific game, pinout. And it's something that I had to order because it's not JAMA. It looks like JAMA, but it's not. So yeah, so that's cool. And then right here are the two caps that I replaced. And then yeah, it's all basically ready to go. So I'll show you what happens though. I'll turn it on. And I'm running it through the Gombus board. So comes up, looks good. However, there's a hum. And let me quarter it up here so I don't get any rise from the grave. I do adjust this picture. I think I've talked about that, but there are some settings on the Gombus that you can do to make it look more like a CRT. One of them is to soften the saturation. Okay, so if you go in here and you check the volume potentiometer, you can hear it's adjusting, but it's just increasing the hum. So what's strange about this is that I did a quick search, and apparently this era of game boards, which is, Sega, clearly. So I think that Golden Axe is also one of them, and maybe Shinobi, Shinobi probably. They use the Z80 CPU, and the Z80 CPU, I found that it's commonly something that is that goes out, and it's referred to as a suicide chip. So I actually called Ken, who is the guy who helped me out with my Virtua Fighter 2, and he used to work at Sega, and he's, I called him up and basically he was like, oh yeah, what you're describing is the suicide chip. So the Z80, he said, has a battery inside, and once that battery goes out, it loses the ROM programming for the sound. So it just forgets it. It's just done. So anyway, he said that he knew that was gonna happen when he worked at Sega, so what they did is that they ordered a huge amount of chips that have, I guess, the ROM burned into it, into the actual CPU, so it will never forget that data again. So I'm going to send this board off to Ken because I couldn't even find where to buy the Z80 CPU that's repaired. I mean, I could find old ones, but I don't want them to explode again. So anyway, I'm going to send this off, and I mean, he did awesome with the Virtual Fighter too, so Virtual Fighter. So yeah, anyway, excited to get that back and put in here. But I am pleased that the two capacitors at least made the video and all that look good. So I just wish the sound would have, you know, been fixed, but that's okay. We're gonna get it done. Oh man, it's playing. Yeah, he said the speech chip was messed up too. He said that at one point he had the sound working, but there was no speech. So definitely heard that. Let's coin up. Let's see.
Rise from your grave.
Yes! Oh man. So there you go. Altered Beast is back. This was quite the project to get this working. But the next thing I'm gonna do is redo this. One final addition to Altered Beast. I'm doing this on quite a few games. My friend Greg is hooking me up with some plexiglass that he's cutting out. I'm just cutting or drilling out the mounting holes for the carriage bolts, which I don't know if I have one here, but they hopefully is the right size. We're gonna see in a minute. But yeah, I'm just going real slow. I'm gonna do one on each corner, and then the buttons should hold them down, although I could put like one in the middle, you know, if I really wanted to. But yeah, we'll see how it turns out. So yeah, pretty wild. I needed that little adapter for the Sega 16, fully gone through. All right, that does it for this episode of Out of Order. Thanks for watching. Until next time, you know what to do. You're gonna keep that shit retro by rising from your grave later on.